Marco, like what was your game one reaction to the Thunder against the Pacers?
Game one reaction, obviously choked by the Thunder. Like you don't expect a team that's up by as much as they were at a certain point in the game to end up blowing that game.
Yeah,
What was it? Yeah, going into the fourth quarter, they were up like 9 points, and then during the fourth quarter, they extended to like a 15-point lead with like 10
yeah,
minutes
yeah,
left, and ended up blowing it. So a team that great, you don't expect them to blow that lead. But I thought my main takeaways were Indiana won with 24 turnovers, which is ridiculous. Like you usually don't see a team because basketball is such a possession based game
yeah. I agree. Yeah,
turn the ball over that much and end up winning the game. So I was like kind of interested in like how did that happen? And the thing
yeah.
that stood out to me was that despite those 24 turnovers, Oklahoma City was only able to get 11 points off turnovers, which is extremely low, especially for that
Mm,
number of turnovers and only 11 fast break points, which those go hand in hand usually because usually like turnover leads to a fast break. So I thought that that just stood out. So even though Indiana turned the ball over, their transition defense was really good. They all got back, and maybe some of their turnovers were well, some of them were dead ball turnovers, which is easier to reset your defense.
yeah,
So I thought they did a nice job preventing points off turnovers, which are even more important than turnovers because turnovers allow for easy baskets most of the time. And the other thing is they shot 46% from three, which that was part of the reason I predicted this to be a 6 game series and Indiana take two
mm,
because they're a fantastic shooting team.
yeah,
Um, Obviously, you can't expect 46% for the whole series because that's an absurdly high number. But there will be games where this team is able to do that because they are an extremely good shooting team. And compared to the pretty good 37% from Oklahoma City, um, on 9 less attempts, you could just see why how Indiana was able to win that game by getting stops in transition and shooting the ball well and out rebounding them. So shout out to Miles Turner. I said his rebounding would be very important in game one. He ended up with nine. That was more than he
yeah,
had in that game in the last series. So shout out to him too.
yeah. Kind of similarly to game one, definitely noticed Indiana's ball movement. And also their transition defense was really good. Those that was a big key point that I picked up about Indy during their win. Obviously the Halliburton game winner. It was kind of funny because I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was out with some friends. I was having a fun time. I was pretty tired. So during like I think it was like 8 minutes left. I was like, oh man, I'm going to sleep. And like I'm hearing like everything that's going on, right? So like as I'm going to sleep, I'm hearing Halliburton win the game, and I'm like, dang, that's crazy. And I went to sleep, and I was like, I'm gonna rewatch the game, right? So another key point that I picked up, Lou Dort, he had 15 points. I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do as a starter, excuse me. And I knew that the Pacers were going to try to put him in a position where it made him uncomfortable to score. And he rose up to the occasion. And another player in game one that I really liked, that I'll probably talk about in game two as well, was Alex Caruso. He had 11 rebounds, 3 steals, and 6 rebounds. I feel like he was just being the perfect role player throughout that game one and doing all the dirty work that they needed. Um, and then I guess like some negatives that I would take away from the OKC Thunder in game one was just you needed more from Jalen Williams and also Chet Holmgren,
Yeah.
which I think were some and we could, go into game two, but I think those are some adjustments that they made in the second game.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to build on that like real fast before we go on the
Yeah, go
next
ahead,
game.
bro.
Hartenstein only got 17 minutes that game. I thought that that was bad from Dagnall, especially when you're losing the rebounding and you can run the double big lineup.
Yeah,
Because Chet is like plays the power forward really well, and there's been a really good lineup for you recently.
yeah,
I kind of was disappointed that he didn't lean into that more, especially when you're getting out rebounded by a team that you just frankly shouldn't get out rebounded by. And yeah, shout out to Lou Dort because I did mention in our last pod, I put Aaron Wiggins as a guy that I thought was going to be important because Lou Dort is a very inconsistent shooter, and 5 threes out of him, 5 for 9 from three in game one. That was absolutely major. Allowed him to stay on the court, and he was very impactful that game despite the loss.